Have you ever wondered about this question or felt troubled by it? You're in the right place. I used to ask the same thing. Why are we living in a world filled with sorrow and suffering? How did it all begin? Naturally, our thoughts go back to the very beginning of time. But rather than relying on human speculation, let's turn to God's Word for answers. As you watch this inspirational video, may His truth bring clarity and peace to your heart. Have you wondered whether Adam and Eve were created after Satan sinned and rebelled against God, or before Satan sinned and rebelled against God? Well, Adam and Eve were created after Satan sinned, but before they themselves sinned. Now, what does it mean by that? So, when Adam and Eve were first created, they were completely sinless and perfect. They hadn't disobeyed God yet. But later, after being tempted by Satan in the form of a snake, they themselves chose to eat the forbidden fruit and sinned. You can look up in Genesis 3:1-6. For a time, however long that was, they lived in innocence and obedience before they fell into sin. Now, you might have this question. When Satan rebelled against God and was cast out of heaven, where did he and his angels go? This leads to another question. Was the earth already created? Well, before his rebellion, Satan, then known as Lucifer, lived in heaven. He was a high-ranking angel, described as a guardian cherub, full of wisdom and beauty. You can look in Ezekiel 28:12-15. But he became proud and wanted to take God's place, which is found in the book of Isaiah 14:12-14. That's when he started a rebellion. As a result, he and the angels who followed him were cast out of heaven, as found in Revelation 12:7-9. Since the earth wasn't created yet, they weren't cast directly to earth. The Bible doesn't give exact details on where they were at that time, but they were clearly in a state of exile, separated from heaven. Later, when God created the world and placed Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, Satan showed up there in the form of a serpent to deceive Eve. Genesis 3:1-6. That means by then, he was already fallen and actively working against God's creation. Why didn't God destroy Satan immediately after his rebellion? This is an important question. If God is all-powerful, why allow Satan to continue existing? Here are some key reasons based on biblical principles. 1. To preserve free will and demonstrate justice. God created angels and humans with free will, the ability to choose to love and obey him or to rebel. If God had destroyed Satan immediately, other angels might have obeyed him out of fear instead of love. Instead, God allowed Satan to fully reveal his true character so that all created beings could see the consequences of sin. 1 Corinthians 4:9. 2. To let the great controversy unfold, the Bible speaks of a cosmic conflict between good and evil, Revelation 12:7-9. Satan accused God of being unfair and unworthy of worship, Genesis 3:4-5, Job 1:9-11. If God had instantly wiped Satan out, it could have seemed like he was hiding something instead of acting justly. 3. To show the true consequences of sin, instead of erasing sin instantly, God allowed it to play out so its full consequences, death, suffering, and destruction, could be seen. This way, no one will ever want to rebel again after witnessing what sin leads to, Romans 6:23. One day, everyone will acknowledge that God is just, Philippians 2:10-11. Fourth, God's plan of redemption. Instead of immediately destroying Satan, God had a plan to save humanity through Jesus Christ. John 3:16. The cross demonstrated God's love and exposed Satan's lies. Colossians 2:15. Eventually, Satan will be destroyed in the lake of fire. Revelation 20:10. But only after the universe has seen that God is both just and merciful. So God didn't destroy Satan immediately because he wanted the universe to see the true nature of sin and to understand his justice in dealing with it. This ensures that rebellion will never happen again. Nahum 1:9. Did God already plan to create humans and save them through Jesus before Satan rebelled? Yes. The Bible teaches that God's plan of salvation through Jesus Christ was in place even before creation, before sin ever entered the universe. Take note. Here are a few key reasons. 1. God's foreknowledge. God is all-knowing and exists outside of time. He knew that Lucifer would rebel and that humanity would fall into sin before he created anything. Isaiah 46:9-10. But knowing something will happen doesn't mean he caused it. He still allows free will. 2. Jesus, the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. Revelation 13, verse 8, says that Jesus was the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world, meaning that God's plan for Jesus to die for humanity was already established before creation. 1 Peter 1:19-20 confirms that Christ was foreordained before the foundation of the world, but was revealed in time for our salvation. 3. Why did God still create humans? Even though he knew sin would enter the world, God still created us because his love is greater than the risk of sin. He desired a relationship with us, knowing he would provide salvation through Jesus. John 3:16, Ephesians 1:4-5. The great controversy and eternal security. God's plan wasn't just about saving sinners, but also about demonstrating his justice and love to the whole universe. Ephesians 3:9-11. By allowing sin to exist temporarily, he ensures that rebellion will never rise again. Nahum 1:9. So, God had already planned to create humans and to save them through Jesus before Satan rebelled. His plan of salvation wasn't an afterthought. It was established from the very beginning.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more inspirational videos like this.